Hey, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in to the Briefcase. This is the follow-up to Insecure's season 4, episode 1. Uh, had a great time looking at it. Had a great time laughing. I'm with the homie doing it big time. I'm with Chastity. Uh, we're gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves like we usually do. I know it's been a while since we've done a Facebook Live via Briefcase. We've changed some things up. We're also going live simultaneously with our YouTube channel. So anyway, if you can find us on YouTube channel, The Briefcase, go ahead and subscribe to us. We're going to start hitting y'all heavy with videos, having fun like this. Little things that we're working on in the background too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves like we usually do. And I'm going to let the ladies go first because I'm such a gentleman. Chaz.
So my name is Chastity Chandler. I am a mental health counselor and certified sex therapist in the state of Florida, and I cannot wait to get into a lot of these things that was in this first episode.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
A lot of layers, a lot of fun shit, a lot of bullshit. Anyway, so some of you know me, some of you might not. My name is Boris Chestnut, and I am also a sex therapist under a different name. But this is my play name, and so we're just gonna keep it rocking and rolling like this. So I'm practicing in Texas. I also can see people out of Florida as I am able to work out of Florida as well, doing sex therapy. And here I work with a number of people, number of different populations, different things, mental health, sex therapy, and also sex offenders. And I'm an advocate for the community. And I'm all just trying to be great like Chastity Chandler. That, if I can be great like her, then then I've done my good deed and I've done all that I need to do in life to be great. So
All right, sir, cut it out. Let's get into it.
So but anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. I want to start inviting, we want to start inviting some people in to the discussion. So if you're on your laptop or your phone or whatever, and you can come on in, we're gonna try to invite you via email to this show with us. Talk to us live. Get in on the video. Let's hear what you have to. Let's see your face and hear what you have to say. Feedbacks and all that stuff there about the show. So if you want to do that, feel free to comment on the comment section. Just leave your email address, and what we'll do is we'll let everybody say their blurb, have some fun with you, and we will then go off to the next person. So we're gonna show some love to a lot of people. We just really want to hear what you have to say. But let me check out what the comments are saying right now. Okay, we're just getting started. Okay, cool.
So what were y'all overall thoughts on the show? I mean, first of all, I wish it was longer than the 35 minutes. That's my first thing. But other than that, what was your thoughts on some of the underlying themes or messages that kind of were introduced in this first episode? These are like real life situations that some of us might have been in or could see ourselves in or could see ourselves inadvertently getting in. And what were your take on it? How would you have handled, a new friend dating your ex? How would you have handled a friend knowing that your friend was dating your ex and didn't say anything? There was a couple other things, but that one stood out a lot for me. So
let's get on to the while people are maybe thinking about what they want to say or whatnot. I just want to dive in randomly. Let's get into the friends dating thing. Have you ever dated? Have you ever been in that situation? Your homegirl dated somebody, and then knowingly or unknowingly, dude pops in, and then wow, we're dating. You know what I mean? Have you ever been in that situation?
I have. Personally, I can't say that I have.
Okay.
But I do feel like it's an off-limit situation. But if they were going to do it, I feel like just making sure I'm okay with it would be good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. I mean, because if he my ex, I'm just saying now. Now the funny part about it is, like, I'm cool with pretty much all my exes. That's the crazy thing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think any one of my exes can say nothing bad. You know, all of them knew I was gonna write about them in the book. They was like, okay, no problem. Like, what name you want me to go by?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think if they ask my permission or just let me know, give me a heads up, I'm cool. I think. But I think to a certain extent, it depends on the friend. If it's a close friend of mine, like if it's a close friend of mine, their exes are off limits. Plus, my friends and me don't have the same taste, so I don't think I'll ever end up in this situation.
But
I'm
you
laughing
know,
because my business bestie walking by shaking her head like,
but that was just, first of all, they didn't have enough time to go over the girl code, right? Because I mean, the times that they meet up was really all about business. So they couldn't, no?
Old girl knew though. Pregnant girl, what's her name?
Yeah. She did.
She
She was,
knew that was messy. That was
yeah,
messy. She
yeah,
knew. So she
yeah,
should at least gave Issa a head up, or she should have said something to the girl way before it's a whole month in. She knew.
yeah,
So
yeah,
somebody said, considering they weren't really friends prior to finding out about Lawrence, that no. First of all, she met Lawrence at the baby shower. So baby shower chick knew.
yeah.
That's just messy. That baby shower chick. She should at least told a girl before she started. She said, "Oh, you mean to tell me the one date that you went on that didn't mean anything? Come on, if you knew she went on a date, you should have mentioned. Oh, well, by the way, that's this is X. Like that's just let you know."
Michael, I got your email, man. Check your email. We're gonna link you on in so we can talk with you. See what else you got to say and contribute uh to the after show. But so
Exactly, Adriana. She knew. Even if we had been broken up. Okay, so Cliff says even if I had been broken up with my ex for over 3 or 4 years. They hadn't been broken up for over 3 or 4 years. They dated for 5. They haven't been broken up that long. Has it been that long?
no. They dated for 5.
Yeah, they dated
Um,
for 5, but they only been broken up by what? Maybe like a year? Less than a year?
yeah, yeah. Deirdre
Yeah.
says Issa has claimed to be over him. She has. I mean, I think Issa still got little. She got a little something in the tank for Lawrence
It
though.
ain't a little. She got a lot. You don't deal with somebody for 5. See, I think maybe what we're looking at too is most people nowadays dating relationships don't last that long. When was the last time you were in a relationship for 5 years?
Yeah,
Think about it.
yeah. We got microwave relationships going on. It's instant hit, instant meet, instant hit, and then maybe some good times, and then boom, we out of there.
So,
Off to the next bag of popcorn.
like she said, 5 years is significant. It is. Anybody that's with somebody for 5 years, that is a significant relationship.
Yeah.
And don't even let her get into asking him why they broke up.
Yeah. But I have to agree with Miss Jackson though. Like Issa she got to shut that down. Talking about she over him, and I know she's doing it for the surface level conversation. She don't really want to get into all that bullshit or whatever. But still, like, ah,
But just think about it. Even if you say you over somebody, if you had that significant of a bond with them and they meant that much to you in your life, and somebody that you felt you was building a friendship with is dating them, you're gonna feel some type of way. If you
yeah,
being honest with yourself, if you ever truly cared about that person, you, especially if you just found out initially, you're gonna feel some type of way.
yeah,
Doesn't mean you can't be friends with old girl, but I don't think old girl gonna want to be friends with her because old girl trying to move along with Lawrence. So
yeah.
that's gonna be interesting to see how that play out. I knew she was gonna come in there and give him some. I knew that was her whole mission to get there.
I got Michael in, and I know he has something to say about that. I'm gonna hit tune him on in. Yo, what up, bro?
You good, bro? Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Oh
What's
yeah.
going on, everybody?
Introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are, man. Give us a shout out. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I hate to put you on
Yeah.
the spot, but
I'm sorry, Chassie. Go ahead and finish your comment.
Oh no, you good. I'm good.
No, you good. What's going on, everybody? My name's Mike. Just a fan of the show, like everybody else. Thanks for having me. To Chassie's point, just kind of going back a little bit. I mean, again, old girl really didn't know. Okay, I know you were saying as far as like the baby shower, they kind of met at the baby shower. Everybody was kind of there and everything like that. But girl code, of course, I wouldn't, imagine that would be amongst friends, right? So the girl code doesn't really apply to somebody you don't really have like a firm relationship or friendship with, in my opinion. So in the case of them two, as far as no, but I'm saying like in terms of Lawrence. I mean, honestly, it's kind of fair game because I mean you got to think about it. They've been dating other people for like the longest time ever since they broke up, right? So they've been in relationships, they've been having flings, they've been doing everything like that. So for another girl who she's a business like associate with to be dating her ex, it's kind of like, okay, you didn't know, I didn't know, okay, fine. So in the sense that afterwards, as far as like, dating and after finding out, if there's been like a long track record of dating after that, my opinion, I don't think Issa should really be tripping too much. And also, I don't think Lauren should be tripping too much. Because, I mean, you got to also figure, like, eventually all these circles are going to be intertwined with each other anyway. So it's like, what can you really do about that?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Now,
I think it's fine.
I don't think I'm not saying it's her fault or the girl's fault. I'm saying it's the friend's fault. The friend knew from the very first date
The pregnant chick.
that the pregnant chick knew that was her ex. She should have told her. So I feel
True.
like it's her fault that they were blindsided by the situation. Now, as far as I don't think it's gonna really trip though. But your heart, listen, this and this don't always match. And
Right.
Don't
that's
always
what we
match to
just
what's
saw.
going down that way. Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's true. I'll
they
say, look,
always
let's add a
say,
third element in there, like this,
yeah.
and that down there don't all match.
The mind and the heart don't always match.
Yeah.
In your mind, you can be done, but in your heart, come on, man. It's like that saying, you don't really know if you over your ex until you see your ex out with somebody else. And most of the time, no matter who it is, no matter how long it's been, your heart will still drop if you really care for that person. Not that you're jealous, not that you want to be back with them, but it's like, oh my God, there he go, or there she go with them. So I'm just saying, normal human response.
Right.
And also,
So going back to your original point.
yeah,
Go ahead. No, go ahead. It's your floor. Go ahead.
Issa, no, you good, bro. Issa opened up the series like within the 5 minutes, busting it wide open. So I mean,
That was not busting it wide open.
She was busting it all over the place.
Just trying to get some.
She definitely busting all over the place. So I mean, and let's go back to the pregnant friend. Now we know from previous seasons that she's messy. So I mean,
Absolutely.
that shouldn't really come as much of a surprise. But also in a sense, Lawrence and Issa have already had an interaction with each other in terms of being able to be in the same place at the same time after the breakup. So they had plenty of time to kind of explore those feelings to go and see, should we have made it work? Should we have not? All sort of stuff. So that ship has already been like, addressed, sailed, and all that other good stuff. So of course, clearly there's still some feelings on because I mean, after a 5-year relationship, it's not easy to just kind of like throw that away. It's almost like, they haven't been married, but they've gone through a divorce and, there's still something there. So I mean, at the end of again, I really don't feel like they should be mad or like in a sense of like still kind of like harbor those feelings because again, that's been addressed before, that's already been explored before, and it's already done.
So I have a question for you. Do you feel it's fair that Lawrence doesn't want his girl to be friends with Issa or to do work or business with Issa?
I think you froze up a little bit. Give us that question again. I'm gonna write it in the comment box.
My question was, he said that he doesn't feel like anybody should feel any type of way. So my question is it fair that Lawrence now doesn't want his girl to have dealings with Issa? Like after the block party, the little party they just had, he was like, you're not gonna still be, friends with her. You're not gonna still be doing business with her, are you? So the implication was that she's going to give up her friendship and business relationship with Issa. So my question that I'm posing to the folks that's tuning in is is that a fair request from your boo or your boo thing because of them being friends with your ex? We got some comments. Lawrence didn't seem to care that they were friends. Yeah, he did. He asked her was she still gonna be doing the block party. And then
And
he was like,
let's
yeah,
kind
you
of go
can't
back to
really.
what Tiana. Tiana, are you talking about because the last scene when he basically just had sex with old girl and it was without any kind of checking in with Issa to see if Issa was okay with it or any. I don't. I guess are we saying because it seems like Lawrence has just fully moved on? Is that why you think that he doesn't? Give us more information on that. Basically, just had sex with old girl and it was without any kind of little feedback to see if Issa was okay.
Yeah, so they heard
She
her.
said that he asked in a way that seemed to be fishing for how she felt.
For sure.
But I felt like he didn't even have to ask that. Her body language said it all. Her wanting to pause that night said it all. She felt really conflicted that she is now friends with his ex and that she didn't know it. She kind of, the look that I got or the way that I interpreted that was, if I would have known that you were her ex, I would have never messed with you. That's how I took it. If she would have known that Lawrence was Issa's ex, I don't think she ever would have got into anything with him.
Possibly. I mean, it's 2020. I mean, everybody's kind of like, going around doing what they want to do anyway. So it's like, there's been plenty of situations, and I'm pretty sure we have life experiences where it's like, oh, okay, so you messing with an old girl, and oh, that's my ex. Like, okay, cool. I'm still going to do what I want to do anyway. So, so it's like, it's a toss up at this point, honestly.
But my question is then, does this become something that could be something serious? Because in the back of old girl head, she gonna constantly be thinking about the fact that they was together for 5 years. Now she gonna want to know more about their relationship. She gonna want to know why did they break up. She's gonna want to know all of these things now. Because why would y'all was together for this long? They still cool. They still like friends.
Right.
Right. And why did y'all break up? That's gonna be like the next conversation.
Yeah, so I'll say to that very point, I don't think it would have like a long lasting, time frame as far as Lawrence and the new girl being involved, because exactly how you said, in the back of her mind, she's wondering like, okay, what happened back then? She's gonna keep continuously bringing up the past because they're currently involved with each other as far as Issa and the new girl, since they're business partners. So there's always going to be that lasting like confliction between like, okay, this is who I have a business relationship with, but also this is who I have an intimate relationship, and they're connected. So, how strong can our connection be because of that past history?
Okay. Tiana says exactly. It didn't seem like he was opposed. I think he was more surprised by her emotional maturity.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I think it took her by surprise. I don't think that deep. Maybe it's not. The world is too small, and amongst Black professionals, it's even smaller. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yep.
So, how do y'all feel about the whole the first episode of the season had about four sex scenes in that bad boy, right?
I knew you.
Hey, we the briefcase. I'm putting. Hey, we grown in this motherfucker. I'm bringing this motherfucker in tonight. I'm not discussing this tomorrow. It's tonight. So they had all those sex scenes. What are they trying to imply with that? Where are we going with Issa and her sex?
I don't know, but I wasn't impressed with any of them. If I'm being honest, I got videos that have put all that to shame. I'm just
get them. They need to call you
now. But I mean, we're gonna get to the sex. I know we're gonna get to the sex, but I think there was a deeper theme that I don't want us to not get to.
Okay.
And that was old girl. That was old girl Molly having feelings for dude, acting like she don't, and then get mad. We talked about this in our dating episode way back when.
Yeah.
Dating means I am seeing what's out there, and I am figuring out if there's someone that I want to date. exclusively.
Yeah.
Right. So it's implied if you're dating that you're dating.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially like if y'all meet on a dating site, everybody's dating, right? But I think these are the discussions that have to happen up front, so you don't get in your feelings like that when you find out somebody else is dating. Right? We went over talking to dating, dating exclusively, long-term committed relationships, courting, marriage. Like we talked about that and what that all looks like before in the briefcase. And I think it's a really important point because too many times people are out here dating and they don't know what they truly want.
Right.
Or they're not being honest with themselves about what they truly want. And then they get in positions that set them up for failure. So I want to make sure we do not pass that up, because that whole thing she downplayed dude to Issa. Oh, I don't really care for him like that. It's just fun or whatever. Meanwhile, her whole demeanor changed when dude said he was dating other people.
Yeah. But that's I mean, I guess you could look at that maybe as a negative, but I see that as a positive with dating because we're still trying to figure ourselves out. So on the early aspect of things, or in the early aspect of things where Molly is still at, with her thing with dating, she's still trying to figure herself out. She's going to date. She should be dating around, and she got upset with dude when he's obviously doing what he should be doing as a person that's dating someone else. You got to feel out to see where your head and your mind is at, your body, your soul, and spirit. Why not?
But this is why that whole movement of Black Men Don't Cheat came up, right? That's how that whole thing started. Where there's a whole movement, just in case you guys did not know. Matter of fact, if you knew about the Black Men Don't Cheat movement, type a 1 in the comments. I just want to know. We got 14 people watching right now. Out of the 14 people watching, if you knew about the Black Men Don't Cheat, drop a 1. If you did not know, drop a 2. So there's a whole movement out there right now that's called Black Men Don't Cheat. And the implication is Black men don't cheat because Black men don't date exclusively. They never get in a relationship to be cheating in the first place. The people that they date assume they're in a relationship with them, and therefore that's how cheating even comes up. So again, you cannot assume. We are past the days of assuming, in my opinion.
So, in Molly's case, if you notice just from her previous dating experiences from previous seasons, she's never been the type to really ask questions. She's always been a go with the flow, kind of see what happens type of girl. But at the same time, if you really think about it, ask yourself this question with Molly's character. Do y'all ever feel like she does some self-sabotaging?
I think she does, but she also has a lack of awareness too, a serious lack of awareness tied with layers of other shit that I think they need to go into her character and tell us about that they haven't really explored. But yes, I do think she self-sabotages when it comes to her dating life.
Right. And then what's interesting about her getting mad about Andrew, she was messing around with Dro, and Dro was a married man. So, she was a side chick for the longest time. And then even with other dudes that she's dated before, some of them were taken. Sometimes she was aware of it, sometimes she wasn't. But again, she just kind of goes with the flow. But at the very, very slightest bit of adversity that pops up in something that might be her fairy tale, happily ever after, she instantly is like, nope, done, over with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, there wasn't really a time where she kind of really checked herself. She kind of see like, okay, well, maybe there's something with me that I need to address and kind of like figure out prior to going on to the next person.
Well, that's a defense mechanism. Her whole trying to push this dude away was all a defense mechanism. I don't want to deal with she didn't want to deal with the feelings that she was developing for this guy and what that would mean, what that would look like, how she would have to be. So it's just easier to push him away than it would be to deal with the feelings.
Right.
But you guys have to understand, we definitely know her dating history, but I really truly think that Molly needs to do some more personal exploration.
Yes.
Within herself and figure out what it is that she wants. Again,
Well,
I think
she was seeing a therapist.
Huh?
She was seeing a therapist. I don't know if you remember that.
She probably ain't seeing her now, and
she's not. She need to call them up. She need to call them up again. You know how clients are; they'll fall off sometimes. She need to call again. So
you know how they do when they get in a new relationship, they just drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And then
yeah. Come back. Oh, you got a whole new relationship? What happened to the old one? What's going on?
Yeah.
Can we ask Tiana if she want to come on? She's spitting some fire too. No
Yeah.
disrespect to Mike. We really
No,
No,
enjoyed the
no, no,
no,
no,
by
no,
conversation.
all
no.
means.
Mike, you good? You good right here, bro? Hold on.
Oh, you can bring everybody in. We're gonna have one big party.
Might as well.
You didn't ask me if I wanted extra people involved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Consent is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, I say you did open up the discussion, say you was a gentleman, and by all means, you did not ask the lady. So hey.
I couldn't help it. It was a good consent joke.
Oh man.
She said, "I'm in bedtime mode. Maybe next time." Okay. I feel you.
By the
Can
way,
we
this
get?
is
Is there anybody else, another woman out there that wants to step up and give us their feedback, their blow by blow of the episode, or their history of what they think about Insecure?
What
We
about
want
Miss
to bring
Jackson?
you on. And while they're figuring that out, yeah, I think Molly definitely self sabotages with. Remember, she was with Old Boy in what, season 2, that had one experience of giving another man oral, and then he figures out that he's straight. You know, he doesn't like that. He had the experience. He's no longer going back that way, and he is absolutely straight now. And then Molly was like, "Oh shit, he's gay. I can't fuck with him." And then she sees him with another woman, and she kind of feels like Issa Rae does or did today when she found out Lawrence had her homegirl in a relationship. It was kind of like that egg in the face look or deer in headlights. But that's a typical Molly moment, right? She's always,
right.
like Mike saying, self-sabotaging. She could have had the dude that had the experience. I mean, he's above that. He's past that. He's through with that. She could have had a number of men, but she just tends to
See,
just let them go.
I think the important part, or the important thing to note, and it's just like anybody else in any other types of relationships, there's a lesson that we have to learn, right? So
Yeah.
Molly obviously has not either learned that lesson, or she hasn't gotten to where she needs to get in life to be. See, we can want for what we want, we can pray about it, we can manifest it, you can do all those things, but you have to be ready and willing to receive it when it comes. And sometimes we miss it because we stuck on old stuff. Miss Jackson says she thinks that when Molly found out her dad was unfaithful, that it really sent her in the whirlwind.
I was just about to point out her comment because she makes a very, very good point.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the foundation as to why she's acting the way she does now, because of what happened with her parents. So I think that is a very, very key thing that happened in Molly's past that, might really be affecting her now.
And as Chaz knows, and you don't have to be a therapist to understand, exposing your kids to whatever does have long-term effects. And her seeing possibly her dad doing all kinds of stuff there could have shaped her mindset into what it is today.
Yep.
Yeah. Tiana says that Molly operates too much in the should. She doesn't give herself or others any grace for shortfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the therapist was talking about that in one episode.
Yeah.
Thank
How long
bring that up, Tiana.
You saw her in the therapist office? The question.
I think that was season 2. So it's been some minute.
Yeah. So I mean, y'all are the licensed professionals in that area, but it kind of makes me feel like with Molly's different situations that happen in her life, she never really got closure for a lot of the different things that keep happening. So going back to her parents, her relationship with Dro, and dating all these other dudes, you never really see her get closure and just kind of like cutting off whatever attachment she had to that one event, and then moving forward, she just kind of like keeps compiling on layer after layer after layer after layer. So I mean, I want to kind of get y'all take on that. Given that sort of situation, what are your thoughts?
Well, definitely, she has to get closure. She has to confront and challenge all these issues. She has to become aware with her thoughts, emotions, all that. And I don't know if you remember in season 2, she's not that type to really voice how she feels about these things. She's like, "Oh shit, I ran across my homegirl, and she's doing therapy, and she's doing well. I'm not crazy. I don't need therapy." and she just likes to close herself off to developing and getting better. And so, and just addressing all those things that could have formulated her thought process, who she is today, into what Molly is. And so, yeah, definitely, you want to put closure to a lot of the hurt, shame, trauma, or the things that made you confused when you were a young kid, or maybe as a teenager. I don't know when or where she was exposed to all this with her dad, but I would love to see her dad come into the picture now. That she,
what I would say is she doesn't have to do nothing. I want to make sure we put that clear.
Yeah.
It would be best if she did, but she doesn't have to.
Right.
And I think what she's doing is what a lot of people are doing on the dating scene. And I'm just speaking from my own experience because I've been divorced now for 8 years and I've been dating during these 8 years, which my next book is literally going to be on dating. My point is there's too many people out here, the saying hurt people. There's too many people out here doing that. The reality of it is closure is not always possible. And sometimes closure is just you accepting that it's no longer, because we live in the age of ghosting and people don't tend to want to stick around to give anybody closure or answers or anything like that. Everybody seems to be out for themselves and to get what it is that they want, and that's that. So we can't lean on closure, or maybe looking at what closure looks like, right? Closure looks different for each one of those situations. Even with Molly, closure looks different. So I think that that's a very important point. We want her to get better. We see that it's definitely detrimental and it's putting her in very harmful and toxic situations. Not even just that, her mindset as it relates to love and relationships has been impacted. So we want her to get the help, but the help isn't mandatory and she don't have to get it. She can continue along this path and it will make for lots of seasons of good writing. And we will sit here and want to look at what's the next relationship Molly's going to get in. But the sad truth is these are the people that, we see in our offices. These are real life situations. These things really happen. People really are hurt and impacted by these things and they don't deal with it. Unfortunately, we live in a day and a time where more Black and brown people are reaching out to get therapy. We also know that Black and brown therapists exist. So that stigma is definitely being lifted, but you still have a lot of people on this great Resurrection Sunday, I must admit, that still think that all you can do is pray about something and not necessarily seek help. But what I also wanted to say before I hush and go on to Tina's nice comment that she just typed was that not all therapists are created equal, right? And I don't mean that one therapist is better than another, but I mean like you don't go to a heart surgeon for brain surgery. So if you're having relationship issues, you need to go to a therapist that specializes in relationship issues. Therefore, you might actually get help with your relationship issues. If you go to a general counselor who does not have in-depth experience or training with relationships and couples, then you're not likely going to get not saying you can't get better and it won't get great, but you're not necessarily going to get to the root of the problems and you're not necessarily going to get the tools that you need to navigate relationships in a healthy way moving forward. So I just want to give that disclaimer, right? Going through a therapist is great. Been there, done that, we'll go again. My motto is if your therapist doesn't have a therapist or hasn't seen a therapist, don't let them be a therapist.
Absolutely. We have both sides of the couch.
That's deep.
Tiana says, right, she needs to process closure with herself, which requires self-reflection and introspection. So real quick, pose a question. What do you think is a reasonable amount of time between a breakup that you should give yourself before you put yourself back out there to date again?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, right? So if I'm dating someone now and I'm doing it for spiritual reasons, I don't think there's a time I can really put on that, right? But if I need to break,
dating somebody for spiritual reasons, help me understand.
Well, I'm sorry. If I'm dating someone and we break up because I need some spiritual healing and development and getting better as a spiritual person, I can't really put a time on that, right? But if I need to break up with her because I need to focus on business, I already know that what I'm going to be doing for the next year or so. So break up for a year or something like that, or maybe 6 months. I kind of already know what business is going to look like and what I'm planning for with that. But it just really depends on what you're breaking up for. I can't really say that there is just a time for a split that works for everybody. You need to know what you're breaking up for and move forward, understanding where the healing and the betterment is going to be for, like I said, spiritual reasons, business reasons, mental health reasons. So much of that going on. We're coming into an age where people are more aware of mental health issues. And so even with that, you can't really put a timestamp on, the mental health days that you need to get better, to improve mood, to improve stress or whatever else.
I'm not talking about the time you taking to get back with that person. I'm saying period, that you're not. I know once I took about 6 to 8 months, I wasn't talking to nobody. I wasn't sleeping with nobody. I wasn't dating nobody. I just took that time to myself. And so sometimes we say we taking a break, but yet we're still having sex with other people. We're still communicating with other people. And so you have to ask yourself, am I really taking a break? Am I really focusing on me in the way that I need to? That looks different for everybody.
It does.
And I'm not saying that it has to be this amount of time or has to be that amount of time, because I think that is solely up to the person or people who are involved in that. But I think too many people get out there too soon and they're emotionally unavailable.
Right. I think going back to your original question, Chastity, is time frame that it takes is if you can hear that person's name without getting triggered, if you see a mutual friend and it doesn't automatically take you back to that person's like feelings or anything like that, that's when I think you're ready. So I mean, there isn't like really like a set time frame, but when you can go ahead and have a reminder of that person you were connected with and it doesn't have a negative effect, or at least you're just kind of indifferent, then I think you're ready.
Okay. That's a good rule of thumb. The general consensus on the page is a year.
So, are we ready to talk about these sex scenes or what?
Wrap it up.
Sure. Go ahead, kick it off.
So, what is this thing with Insecure and these sex scenes? Like my homeboy was saying, like Issa Rae has like a Wesley Snipes contract where she got to bust it in like at least once every episode, which is nice. But what are we really saying? Is that a healthy thing where women are being empowered to have sex when they want, how they want it, whenever they want it, all over the house, just like in this episode, in her imagination? Where are we really going with Insecure and these sex scenes?
Now, see, I think
go ahead, Chastity. I'm sorry.
I think each sex scene meant something different.
Yeah.
Just me personally. That first sex scene, I think we all done been there. We all have been there. We all done made that conscious decision that we are about to let somebody get some, and they think they doing all the things. And they ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think the sex scenes were somewhat realistic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think each one of them had a message. I don't think it was just like, oh, let's throw a bunch of sex scenes in there.
Yeah,
but I don't think Issa was satisfied at all.
Yeah, it just didn't mean to cut you off there. It just seems to kind of set the tone for like what's really going on in this day and age. Everybody's kind of like, free and having sexual relationships, almost kind of like, the 60s and 70s, kind of like the sexual revolution. So it's kind of like,
we ain't there.
No, I mean, it just
we got these STIs and these STDs. They didn't have all that.
Yeah,
right.
They were free flowing. They ain't worried about condoms back then, boy. What's the condom?
Right. No, I mean, it just kind of, I think they kind of throw it in there, just kind of make it feel a little bit more relatable. It's like, okay, like, I'm watching something that, either I may be doing or somebody I know is doing, or just like people in general in the dating scene are just doing, in the worlds of your dating apps and everything, everybody's kind of doing hookups. So it's kind of like, okay, this is what's going on right now. So it kind of makes it a little bit more relatable when you're watching the episodes. Like, okay, cool. Like this isn't, I'm not just watching TV. This almost feels like it's a live stream that you're watching on HBO. So it's I don't know, it's just one of those things that just, I guess, the channel just put in there, just kind of make you feel like, okay, like this is set in today's day and age. Now, as far as the sex scenes in general, I think it's kind of like, giving you a heads up as far as where each character is when they are having these sex scenes. So where like, you're wondering, are they actually dating? Are they seeing anybody? Are they hooking up? Blah, blah, whatever. Then it's like, okay, we address that. Now let's move on to the next part of what's going on in their lives. So the episode literally played just like that. It opened it up where they had a conversation, then there was a sex scene. Then they brought us up to more current events. So I think it's really just like a part of the story that kind of just sets the tone for the rest of the series. And I think they just kind of make it relatable.
I want to go into what Joe. I want to read. Chad, so
go ahead.
You want to read the comments, or okay?
You got it. I was just going to say
that. Thank you for both of you and your responses on that, y'all. But let's go up to Tiana. I think she was saying. Nicole's laughing. What's going on, Mrs. Smith? Tiana asks, she says, which is why Issa can be friends with Condola. She's over it. Moving forward, she thinks, as far as the sex part is concerned, she thinks sex is a part of our everyday lives. It's reality. It's real life. Thank you, Catrice. Tiana also says there's no room for bad sex in our lives. Yeah.
Real.
And then Adriana also says good old sexual freedom. Excuse me. And then Joe Love also chips in. Thank y'all for participating. Joe Love also participates by saying, I believe the scene was showing that she had use for him for personal gain as well.
So could that have been a mutually beneficial arrangement?
Explain. How could it be mutually beneficial? He gets ass, she gets some business out of him, some security out of him.
He even brought her a gift. 2 gifts.
Yeah. He said that missionary. What he said, that missionary was legendary or some shit like that, or whatever the fuck he said.
That missionary was busting or hitting or something. and he was the hype man for the party.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was motivated to go ahead and hype up the party. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm real motivated. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shout, dance. I'm gonna go ahead and do whatever I can to go and help your party out. Because you and that missionary, you got me motivated. So okay. We're gonna do it. That's the transaction.
There you go. So it was mutually beneficial, right? So she got some.
No, I didn't say that.
With the party.
Maybe.
May have been.
It was mutually beneficial because we look at it as as Joe Love was saying, that she used him for personal gain. But for all we know, he was happy with being used.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. You get some sex as hitting. All you want me to do is sit up and look at people all day long and just make sure they ain't got no guns and no crazy shit. Bad. Let's do it.
Right.
You're silly.
Yeah.
But no, I would be interested. It would interest me to know whether she asked him to be security at the party prior to him getting something. But it sounds like that wasn't their first time. Because remember, she's like, you got the you got the side piece outside, or you letting your cut buddy. I forgot the exact words that was used, but they were shocked that he was at the party.
Yeah.
So everybody knew she was sleeping with him. Her friends knew.
Yeah.
But she wasn't bringing them out in public.
Yeah.
Yeah. Introducing her to Big Boy Love. So I mean, if anything,
we can't hear you, Mike.
I'm sorry. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So no, during the sex, like while they were having sex, he said he's going to introduce her to like the Big Boy Love or whatever the case may be. So that might have been their first time. Maybe they were talking for some time, but that was the first really sexual encounter that they had. So it could have been the first time.
Yeah.
It might have been the last.
One time for the big. One time for the big boys out there. We're not out there.
Listen, much love for the big boys.
We're not out there, being the sex symbols and shit. You know what I mean? We ain't your Tanks and your Tyrese's out there and shit. Shout out to the Gerald Levert looking ass niggas out there. Like, hey, look, they love us too. Shout out to the 230 and up club. That's what's up.
Right.
You silly.
Anyway,
So, what were your take on the sex scenes, Boris? Because I can hear you in the watch party. You were very vocal during the sex scenes. Your facial expression changed. You started smiling. You were very excited. So, what is your take on the sex scenes?
I'm glad for Issa, um, for her to be able to move on, have sex, see somebody new, and you know, just kind of start dealing and dabbling in her career. Like I feel like she is on the out, moving on from Lawrence, and I think sexually she's gotten under another dude. She's with another relationship with a guy. She's starting to heal. So she hasn't fully healed from their relationship, but I think she's on the road to starting to heal, to move on. And sometimes that's just what it takes. Just to get yourself out there. Just try and see what's going on. And I was happy for her about that. Um, it was a lot of scenes in there, her thinking about Lawrence having sex with her friend, and I think they hit like 3 or 4 positions, 3 or 4 parts of the house. Like she was like, "Shit, they on the couch. Shit, they against the sliding glass door, and over here fucking against the cake and shit."
That was her visions of
Yeah,
it.
it was.
They
It
had really
was.
done it.
It's still a sex scene that really affected how she's gonna how she's gonna have relations with people outside of her relationship with Lawrence. So, and that happened to be somebody she's doing business with. So I think that really kind of fucked her up a little bit. Just her focusing on sex. Now, just putting personal shit out there. Like if I'm breaking up with somebody, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, sex is really the last thing that I'm thinking about. Like I want to make sure if it's a healthy relationship, I think they typically had a healthy relationship, right? Um, I'm going to make sure I'm concerned if she's eating, is she good, is she, what I mean, is she doing the necessary things to develop and be great in life? I'm not really worried if she's out here busting it open and who she's fucking. And so I don't know, but that's just me. So I also have to think about, about her moving on. If she's really having these kind of dreams about Lawrence fucking this other chick, is she really, actually really fully, is she really in that space where she's really starting to begin to move on and heal from that relationship and act? So I guess I have to answer my own. I don't know. I'm just kind of confused as to where she's at mentally.
But I think it's a process.
It
Again,
is.
she just found this out. So I think her mind immediately went to the baby shower.
Yeah.
Because she didn't even know that they had basically even met at the baby shower, let alone that they were now dating and it was turning into a possible relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I think her mind just took her back there. And that's what she envisioned, because that's what her and him used to do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they not doing none of that.
Right.
The one couch thing, it kind of didn't happen on the bed, but you know what I mean. Now, my thoughts are, how is old girl gonna feel about it afterwards? Because I felt like she felt like, as opposed to dealing with the emotions that I'm feeling, because my dude and her are exes, I'm gonna just go do this to like solidify our relationship, I
Yeah.
guess. So I wonder what that's gonna be like for her afterwards. So I'm wondering, like, what's episode 2 gonna be about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder because, even though she was dealing with the conflict of Lawrence and Issa being exes, eventually she went back to Lawrence to go ahead and kind of like go ahead and make that next move to have sex with him anyway. So it kind of makes you wonder, going back to your original point, how she would feel afterwards. Or she made the first move as far as coming back to him anyway. Because at first she was like, okay, I need some time to figure this out. Apparently she figured it out after a while. She's like, okay, you know what, I'm cool with this. Let me go ahead and go back, hop on this pole real quick, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. So
I mean, that could be, or she could just felt like, I need to go do this. But has she really reconciled the feelings?
Nah.
That's to be determined.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Will she help Issa with the block party?
I think she will. But as far as reconciling those feelings, I personally don't think she has. But
Now, based on the trailer for season 4, we know they're all 3 going to end up in a room together. We do know that.
Right.
Threesome.
Not that kind of.
Yeah. I don't know if that'll happen. Nah, Issa's
I don't
feelings
think
are way
it'll be
too
a
involved.
threesome, but
Listen.
they will end up in the same room. So I'm wondering.
Lawrence is on a historic fuck trailer. Okay, he's been doing all kinds of crazy shit. So he's the man now. He might put it down and make that happen.
So am I hearing you say that men that sleep around are men and men that don't aren't men? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
No. I'm just saying Lawrence is experienced.
That's what I thought you just implied.
No. I'm saying he's on this. For 5 years, it's been Issa, right? And so afterwards, he's fucked a bartender, the bank teller, like all these. He's having a great sex moment.
And
so,
the girl that he worked with, remember?
Yeah.
They worked on the website together. Yeah.
So he's on a roll. He might make a threesome happen. Lawrence, I'm interested in seeing where he's going with this. But I guess also at the same time, he's trying to settle down with the chick that's helping his ex-girlfriend. So I don't know.
It seems like Lawrence is trying to settle down in general because, I mean, after they broke up and everything, like you were saying before, he just went on this big sex craze with, like, pretty much everybody and everybody. If you have a vagina, he was going after you.
Yeah.
But now it seems like, now that he found somebody that he wants to be more serious with, I think he's, pretty much got all of that out of his system.
But he wanted to be serious with the last lady, but she broke up with him over Issa.
Which one?
I haven't rewatched that season, but I'm pretty sure that's what had happened.
With
Remember
the bank teller?
chick, the Hispanic chick that he was with. He was serious about her.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't she cut him off?
Yeah, she cut him off, but it had something to do with Issa, if I remember correctly. I haven't rewatched the season.
Because that was when they were at the dinner party to celebrate the pregnant girl and her husband's, I don't know if they found out that she was pregnant or something else, some kind of event. And that's when they were all in the room together. And then Issa and Lawrence confronted each other outside. And then that's when it's like, well, fuck you too. And then, and that's when, I think that's when also Lawrence found out that she was, I think she was still messing with Daniel at the time or somebody else. But Lawrence basically, called her hoe for it. Which is a little hypocritical in my opinion, but whatever.
Right, he's been out here holding for real.
You know that double standard exists, though.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right. But ever since then, and I think that's probably why the Hispanic girl left him alone. She's like, okay, your ex is there, blah blah,
okay.
Whatever.
Tiana owned it over here.
Oh yeah, no, actually, yeah. Let's.
Yes, he was.
She actually had a pretty good point of view.
He was trying to heal by the sex and everything in the street. What? So he started to get serious. He started to become serious again in one season. I don't remember when it was. It was before the Hispanic chick. So never mind. I just remember him going to church, and he had this relationship with this chick or this woman he met in church. After his homeboy got saved. I just wonder what happened with that relationship. But I think that ended before the Hispanic relationship.
And I don't want to say the lady was, I can't remember her name, and it might not be correct. She may not be Hispanic, so I don't want to offend anybody. If I got it wrong, I got it wrong.
We're just going off the cuff. No offense if anything has been said tonight, that's been offensive. That's not our intent. We're just really just trying to have. This is all unplanned. This is not,
Oh, this is all candid conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. None of this is started. None of this is sketched. None of it. We're just we're just shooting from the hip. So, again, sometimes things are said, and we don't mean to offend anybody. If anybody has been offended tonight.
But no, we all grown ups. Hopefully, if they are tuning in, they knew about the episode and the content.
Yeah.
But as Tiana said, he was still jealous. When it came to Issa, and that's why he did a lot of things. But she said she thinks, and I don't want to keep calling her old girl, but Lawrence's new bae, she said that she thinks that she gained respect for Issa after the event, and that led her to see Lawrence in a different and positive way. I think sometimes people in relationships just don't work. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with either person. It just doesn't
Absolutely.
work. And so, I mean, some of my exes, I mean, they're pretty cool. I think I would hook them up with somebody. you know, I think I could.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're
I've
both
actually
single.
even posed the
Mike's in a
question before.
relationship, so we need to ask Mike how to keep folks in a healthy relationship.
Mike, what's your relationship status right now? I'm just curious.
Oh, I'm happily taken.
Okay, I'm just curious. I wasn't asking for me. I'm asking in general. You speaking a lot on relationships. I like to know what's going on. I'm not asking for you.
No, I'm taken.
Okay,
But,
cool.
but no, the key. I wouldn't say. I mean, of course, I'm not saying like I know all the answers, but I think in me and my woman's case, we had to address a lot of stuff in our past prior to even like going through anything. So there was
Okay.
a lot of roadblocks that we had like the very first beginning stages, to where it's like, okay, cool, we met, we having fun, this is all cool, fine and dandy. But of course, I knew what my intentions were with her in terms of like letting her know that, okay, I want to pursue you and from a relationship standpoint. So with that being said, let's go ahead and put all the cards on the table. So we had this conversation before where in order for her to feel safe for me, I had to make myself vulnerable. I had to go ahead and be able to put myself out there and really get a clear understanding as far as where I come from, the baggage that I come with, the struggles that I deal with, so forth and so on. So that way I can at least put that disclaimer out there. It's like, hey, this is what I come with. Are you still interested?
Very
At least
important.
that way, instead of it, coming as a surprise, or where she feels like she gets hit out of left field and it causes a lot of conflict. Let's go ahead and kind of like, take care of these things right now. And in the process, I'm very grateful for her because she actually helped me address a lot of the things that I really didn't know that I had. And because of that, again, things aren't like, all rainbows and sunshine all the time. There are some, intentional drawbacks occasional drawbacks every now and then, but it still helps us kind of like get past everything that we dealt with and also learn a lot from each other. And that has been like a big um, booster for us. So it's worked out well.
Love it. Love it. So, Mr. Chestnut here, what's your relationship status? I'm just,
I'm
I
happily
had to do it. I had to
single.
do it.
Single with
What's
an
your
A.
take on healthy relationships, sir?
I'm single in this month. Um, I'm single and I am not looking for anything heavy.
Hey, check it. They just posted about the new season in Black and Poly group. Let me slide over there.
So let me slide on over here. We got a few more minutes, but yeah, I definitely want to hear what they got to say about the Black and Poly group.
So time out. They asked, oh, I'm not probably not supposed to talk about what's in the group. My bad.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep that over there.
Yes.
I'm mad Tiana hit you with the Lizzo quote talking about you put the scene in single. That's funny. We put the scene in single. That's funny.
So, but what do you think are the based on what you saw on the show tonight? What would be some ingredients for these relationships to either be or stay healthy?
Communication for sure. Even with Molly and Andrew, when she found out that he was talking to other people, and I kind of missed that part. I know they were texting back and forth, but I think if there was a communication as far as what their intentions were, or even when she found out that he was dating other people, I don't know if I saw it or not, but did she let him know that she wasn't cool with that, or just like, hey, I'd rather us be exclusive? Like, was that
She hit him with the LMA. My bad for tripping at the end of the episode.
Okay.
He was going to respond, and then the episode ended. So we don't know what that's going to be like, look like, or whatever.
Okay. I mean, even in his case, if he was, dating her and still seeing other people, I mean, was that disclosed as well? There's a lot of different variables in the communication that, we don't really know. So going just based off of what we do know, I mean, he's attending events with her, they're going out bowling and all this other stuff, if if that's the case, and you're kind of like building on something that might lead to the next stages of like being in a relationship, why wasn't that discussed? I think that would help avoid a lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstandings if there was like a thorough line of communication, and really just kind of like just letting it be known, like, since you're out there dating, you really have nothing to be afraid of. You could just say something like, okay, like, you're not gonna lose that person, you're just dating. So I mean, there really isn't a lot invested to where, like, if you say something and you lose that person, you're not gonna lose anything. So like, there's no risk to you by just putting that disclosure out there.
Yeah. I think Molly needs to work on, and we already said this early on. I think she needs to do some self searching, some self improving, some self understanding. But I think just in general, I think people, when it comes to dating, I think people need to start being intentional,
Yeah.
understanding about what they want as well. As far as if you can be intentional and try to get somewhat of an understanding as to what you want, I think a lot of the right pieces fall in the right place, um, instead of the wrong pieces falling in, the right place, I guess, if you will. And folks be like, "Well, shit, this is what I was working on," and then you said you were doing this, and I thought this is where we were going, and now it's a big ass fight. Seems like there's some misunderstanding, and you just don't even know how you got to a certain point when everything just seems so peachy keen from day one. So, be intentional, try to understand a general idea of understanding of where you want to go with this thing, and
Right.
just go through with the journey and try not to hurt anybody. Folks out here thinking it's cool to be petty and intentionally trying to hurt folks. Like
Yes.
it's just I just don't understand that part. But maybe that's because I'm 38. I'm no longer 18
You
and
no longer
28.
spring chicken.
Right. But
So
I mean, you make a good point with that example, as far as somebody saying like, "Oh, I thought we were doing this," and the other person's like, "Oh, I thought we were doing that." But that lack of communication leads to that confusion and that
absolutely.
misunderstanding, and a lot of it's seen.
Listen, I see so many married couples in the same breath, the same situation. One comes to therapy, one's ready to get a divorce, the other one didn't even know they had problems. That lets me know how far they off from being on the same page. So I think communication is definitely going to be key. But I also think being open and honest about what you need, desire, all of that. Because I feel like people aren't necessarily honest with their partner or partners, depending on what type of relationship you're in, about what they need, want, and desire in a
Yeah,
relationship, especially sexually. People just do not, they're just not honest. If they feel like their partner or potential partner is not going to accept who they are sexually, they won't tell them what they want.
Right.
Instead, what they'll do is they'll go get it.
Yeah. I think to
that's
your point.
that's that's one of the things that's happening right now in this whole COVID-19 situation. People are finding out about the extra people
Right.
yeah,
because your boo and your bae texting you now.
yeah.
You ain't at work. You just you right there next to them trying to play it off. But people infidelity is coming to light quite frequently at this point.
Yeah. I
But
think
I
I saw.
also
I
go
think I
ahead.
saw in like Australia. Is it Australia or UK that domestic violence has gone up like 30 or 40% or some shit like that?
Domestic violence and child abuse is up here in the United States, and we already
Wow.
knew that that was going to happen.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Majority of the new calls I'm getting for clients right now are couples.
Yeah.
My
Wow.
point is, and I would love to see it done right on the show because that's one of the parts of this conversation now. Is consensual non-monogamy as well. I would love to see it actually be written in a way that's correct into the show and see how that would look in the dynamic. But that's a whole nother ball game, whole nother situation.
Consensual non-monogamy. Damn.
Yes, that's a real thing.
So,
Mm.
so Mike, have you heard of that before? And
Listen,
that's not a
you can be
disrespectful place.
single and still have people, Mike. Imagine that.
No, I mean, I mean, being introduced to that, I mean, it's definitely new. I mean, it's just one of those things where you just kind of like just assume that when you are with a person that you're just a monogamous. And I mean, I don't know, that's just maybe just an old school way of thinking, or just like, again, just a general assumption. But I never really like kind of been introduced to the idea. But if y'all can't, just go ahead and break that down for folks that like myself that are a little ignorant to.
I tell you what.
You know more than you
I
think
tell
you
you
do.
what.
Let me just say that.
No. Next Tuesday night, we will do a special on open. We will do a special on consensual non-monogamy. So we will go over open, poly, all of that. I'm gonna reach out to somebody, see if we can bring them on the show. I got a few experts who dib a dab in that realm. But let's just say there's a lot of people who've not been monogamous in their relationships. And a lot of times they're not being monogamous, and we look at it and frown upon it because they don't have consent to not be monogamous. The point is, we live in a very heteronormative, monogamous society, but not everybody is built that way.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's not. So consensual non-monogamy just kind of opens the door for people to really be able to be who they are and to still form meaningful and potentially healthy relationships without this expectation that they're going to be monogamous. So, but we're going to do a whole thing. I'm going to reach out to Dr. Monica and see if we can get her on from Hawaii.
Okay. You got to leave them hanging.
Cool.
Leave them hanging so they want more.
Yes, we got to get them off of here. We've been on here more than an hour.
We have. Mike, listen, man, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming in, contributing, commenting, and also talking. You have contributed so much to the show. We got to bring you back on for another time.
We're going to bring him in the missus. How about that?
Yeah. Absolutely. So
I definitely appreciate the invitation and honored having to take part in this. So yeah, thank y'all for having me.
Wonderful. And that's what we do at the Briefcase. It's our business to break a lot of these things down, sex stuff, relational stuff, and so much more. And anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in. And we're going to talk about consensual non-monogamy next Tuesday. So if you don't know what in the world that is, you're probably going to be Googling like crazy tonight.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
We'll
Tune
get the
in
flyer
to
out
9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right?
We
No?
not doing 10 o'clock. No, sir.
Okay. So
9.
it's gonna be 8? What we gonna
8
do?
your time, 9 my time.
Okay.
Don't try it.
Let me get my wires up. All right. So
It's
tune in
12
next
now.
week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be talking about consensual non-monogamy. Chaz, myself, another expert, and hopefully we'll bring family member Renelle back on.
Hopefully.
And Renelle is missing tonight. She hasn't really seen Insecure, so we went ahead and took the helm talking about it. So anyway, full family should be here. We'll see. But other than that,
and if I can't get Dr. Monica, I will have somebody. We will have an expert. On consensual non-monogamy poly, we will have somebody in the building. Yes.
Okay. Beautiful.
All right.
Signing off.
Have a great night.
Thank y'all.
Night.